In this video, I'm going to walk you through the bulk keyword editor within PPCS. What this powerful interface allows you to do is more easily review and organize your keywords and make some decisions based on their performance. One thing to keep in mind is that you will need the professional plan or greater in your Seller.Tools account to be able to access the bulk keyword editor. With that, let's go ahead and dive right into the dashboard. So here I am in bulk keyword editor in the default view of the date of last change, and that's going to be the last change for any given keyword, with the keyword column being the first one here on the left-hand side. One important takeaway is that all the keywords that show up here in the bulk keyword editor are those that have garnered for us at least one click. So they should rightfully be on our radar. We should monitor their pulse and have some insight into their performance. So we take a look at each individual row, or effectively each keyword. We have visibility into the match type. So this is an exact match for this keyword nested under this campaign. Its current bid being 36 cents. The number of days since last change, so just over 3 weeks, has spanned since we've made a change for this keyword. Based on how we're managing our PPC and our strategy, that may be an indication for us to more closely evaluate the performance for this keyword. And this is where we can dive into some of the metrics. We can see our ad spend, our current sales, the ACOS. Now, for this keyword, do we want to be closer to our target ACOS? Let's say it's 30%. Or are we wanting to overspend, be more aggressive because we want to explicitly rank for this keyword, especially with the exact match type? These are insights we want to keep in mind as we're monitoring performance. We can see clicks, conversions, impression data, and so on, just really diving into the performance from there. Now we can customize this if we want to look at from data last change to some of the presets of 30, 60, or 90 days. Take a look at lifetime performance or customize a date range as needed. Now the macro level view here of some of the KPIs is really all of the keywords that we're currently taking a look at. So if I scroll down to the bottom of the page, you're going to see we're reviewing just under 1,800 keywords or 1,800 results. So a good amount of data in there. And that's really where this high level or kind of macro level view of performance, where some of those KPIs and performance metrics come from. So it's kind of intuitive and strongly encouraged that you filter down some of this data to make it more digestible when you're reviewing it and making some decisions. And that's really where these filters come into play. By selecting a filter, you can narrow things like specific campaigns, specific keywords. If you want to review specific match types, you can just as easily do that. State if it's enabled or paused, last changed, and so on. And that's the filtering option. Now, another way that you can kind of clean up this data or prioritize it is looking at suboptimal performance, right? That's where a KPI such as ACOS, it's very intuitive to sort it by that column there. Just by clicking it, we can see those that have maybe an excessive ACOS, as well as those that have an infinite ACOS, those that have realized no sales, but have received clicks. So I'm going to go and sort it the other way to see suboptimal ACOS, just a high. We have realized sales, but I want to dive a little bit more into the keyword level and get some more insights from there. So if we look at this first example after we resorted, looks like it's a misspelling in an exact match that we are performing just suboptimally right now. We've got one conversion. We've got a pretty high ACOS for this specific keyword. But if we want to dive a little bit more, we can see the campaign and ad group that it's nested under for this misspelled keyword as an exact match. We have the current bid. Now, what you'll see here is the suggestion. This is where, again, based on our performance and settings we've configured within PPCS, this is informing us through some of the machine learning, a suggested new bid. And it's just as easy to click adjust bid to be able to make that change here at the keyword level view, simply by adding or updating the appropriate new bid. You can pause or archive this keyword in this view as well. But in this example, definitely an opportunity where if there is a suboptimal performance based on the ACOS, it may be an opportunity for us to take that suggestion and apply that change. Now, what's also really cool, I love this view because you're able to, again, segment date ranges of performance and then map or visually see some of your additional KPIs. Right now we're looking at spend versus bid. If you wanted to look at things like clicks versus sales, You could map out some of that data, understanding some of your other promotional activities, things that you're privy to. How does this this performance look relative to some of the other things that you're doing, PPC or otherwise, organic activities? So we can kind of see we have descending performance here in terms of number of clicks, and then we have a pretty big peak here amongst some of the valleys to realize that lone sale. So hopefully, in your case, you're going to be garnering more sales, but at the keyword level, we can see, is it prudent? And it most likely is for us to re-optimize our bid utilizing that new suggestion so we can get that ACOS a little bit more dialed in. Now, anytime you make a change, that's also going to be logged in your experiment history. This is a really cool way to dive into the numbers and performance over time and to kind of have it mapped out as well as the graphed and visual view. This experiment history kind of drops a pin. It's sort of a milestone for each change that you make so you can monitor that performance and see as you tweak and change it over time, is it getting you closer to your ACOS, or again, with your strategy, if you're overspending and you're being more aggressive with your PPC, you can still see how your KPIs are really shaping out. And this is all again done at the keyword level view. So we hop back over into the bulk keyword editor. This was isolating very specific, again, at the keyword level, but we also have the ability to make bulk changes to a number of keywords. So if we select a few on page here from this exact campaign, we can adjust the bid. And let's say we wanted to adjust it based on a percentage increase or a dollar amount increase. You can do that as well as decrease it by percentage or dollar amount and easily apply those changes in bulk. So that's a really cool way as you categorize and organize your campaigns. Of course, your ideal would be that your campaigns, your product groups are very segmented, they're isolated. That way you can leverage some of this bulk functionality if you really have that intuitive, clean hierarchy within some of your PPC campaigns and some of your ad groups as well. So go ahead and click cancel from there. We can pause these keywords, enable them if they're currently paused, or archive them as needed. But this really just gives you a really clean way to segment some of this data, to filter it down, to sort. Again, very intuitive. Strongly encourage those that are just taking a look at this is sorting by things like ACOS, making sure if there is suboptimal performance, there is a reason for it. There's a strategy. If you're being more aggressive, you're overspending, that those terms are isolated. Their campaigns and campaign names are even reflective of that. That way, when you're managing and making some decisions, you're not running into any conflicts with some of your PPC and your management from there. But this is a snapshot into Bulk Keyword Editor. I think you guys are going to love how easy it is to isolate keywords, to make some bulk changes, to organize this data, and ultimately ensure that your PPC spend is well realized and you're driving as high an ROI as possible.